Good night. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning! Good morning!
Good night.
Taste the note, see ya.
See ya. See ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning! See ya. Good morning!
Good night.
Taste the note, see ya.
See ya. See ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning!
Good night.
Good morning!
Good night.
Taste the note, see ya.
See ya. See ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning!
Good night.
See ya. Good morning!
Good night.
Taste the note, see ya.
See ya. See ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Good night.
Taste the note, see ya.
Good night. Good night.
Taste the note, see ya.
Good night.
Hey everybody, how's it going? There we go. Just stopping by. Why you gotta do me like that, buddy? Why you gotta do me like that? I have fighting sleep, but you all have a good stream. It's okay, Chance. It's okay. I know these night streams aren't perfect for parents. Goblins get in the way, man. Goblins get in the way. Let me get my rest. I've got D&D tomorrow. Woo! Still trying to figure out how not to be friggin' stone. That's right, you're petrified. I think it's like remove curse. Alright, man. I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you on the next stream. Probably Tuesday. If these evening ones are a little tough for you, it's probably going to be on Tuesday. Glitch Arcade. Bonjour, Alex. Long time no see. I've been doing these evening streams. You can't hear my music. There it is. Out of nowhere. I swear I'm good at this. Let's go to... Booyah! So my goal tonight is to my goal tonight is to finish the scaffolding. Why the change to evening? Not a full hard change, more of a testing ground. Still doing Tuesdays. And then after a Tuesday stream, after a couple hours on Tuesday, I jump over to the Cmike channel and do the reacts. I've been wanting to try the evening this week, mostly because I got a tight deadline on this dungeon set, and I need to dedicate more hours per week, so I figured a couple hours before bed is a good idea. And also I wanted to feel out what is it like for me to stream in the evening for an hour or two. Is that easier? Is that more cumbersome on my schedule? That was really the reason for the change, is just to test it out and see what it feels like, and then it's also pushing me to get more organized with the streaming setup in this new space. Thanks, man. I found it online. I found the music online, and I really dug it. I'm a big fan of The Truman Show. I think it tells the truth of all things now. So, I was like, it's a perfect fit. And then I credit the creator in the description, too. If you ever want to check out other remixes that he does. It's pretty cool. But yeah, getting this set. Once I get done some of the cutting, if you're willing to stay long enough, I can show you the full set so far. It's pretty impressive. I'm like genuinely impressed. Because this set's meant for a special one-shot coming up. And I have to shoot that one-shot on a very specific date in a very small window of time. And then get back to my normal routine as well. So that's also throwing me off. And I got a bunch of editing to do for clients. It's busy. Oh, I don't think I added it to the description. Let's see. Let's go to bring this up. I have a link I want to put in the description that I forgot to. I can toss it into chat as well. Here we go. So, out of some light requests, I figured why not? And I made an Amazon wish list for backers and everyone to want to participate in helping getting things for the channel. Versus wait for me to save up before I can do that stuff. So it's always available. I'm going to make sure it's in the description of kind of just moving forward. And then it's set to auto remove things once they're purchased. And they're set to my shipping address, which is set to private as well, which is great. How have you been, Alex? Bonjour, Alex. Ça va? Enjoy the turntable. Did you already do it? Did you already do it? You crazy son of a bitch, did you already do it? I can't wait for it to arrive, buddy. Maybe. Alex says, enjoy the turntable.
Is there a turntable on the list?
The robotic one.
Oh, the Lazy Susan?
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I've been wanting if I can't wait to see when it shows up. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I've been eyeballing an automated Lazy Susan for 3 years now. Because I really like the idea that it's just constantly moving in the shot, back and forth. So I hope it works. I appreciate it, man. Let's be honest, half of you guys who are here, you're not here for me, you're here for the music and the relaxing vibes. You can be honest with me. It's okay. Too deep. Alright, I got my legs. This is fine. It's a millimeter wider than it's supposed to. David Brandenburg, love. Thanks, man. Actually, I'm here for the ambience of DIYing things for D&D. GD, that's fair.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my cat to eat. I keep forgetting how wide the lens is.
Who knew cutting foam would be so satisfying? GD knows how satisfying it is. We got those legs. Also, an update on the crane. It was kind of a little, like, stuck, so I sanded it out. Moves like a charm now. I gotta add some weight to the back end. Probably just these 4 magnets. Just glue them there. But it works. It's great. Woot. Woot. It holds. But when I put it on top of the foam mine shafts, a lot of top heaviness. Okay, so cut this down 1 centimeter. I feel like I can get almost everything done tonight and maybe, just maybe, start priming. Optimus would be so proud of me. Guys, great news. I gotta update the backer scroll at the end of these streams, which are also being added to the end of games, because got a new patron, and we're at 202. Can we stay there? Can we stay there long enough for Patreon to withdraw? And then we can start pursuing the 3D printer, because, oh my gosh. I might just take the leap and go to resin printing right away. So that way I can just print Hero Forge minis nonstop. Because, man, like, a big struggle for this one-shot coming up is the Hero Forge minis. Is there's a 4-day window from session 0 to recording the one-shot. Barely enough time from locking characters to playing. And if I didn't have a friend across town who had a 3D printer, I'd be screwed. Because Hero Forge takes 1 to 2 months. I've been considering getting a 3D printer, but I've heard that resin printing can get kind of messy. That's what I've heard too. I just want to make dandy accessories. Is there a 3D printer you'd recommend for a beginner? Man, I'm a beginner and I'm trying to jump to resin. Few people in chat have mentioned FDM, I think it's called, or just filament in general, but they are lower resolution. That being said, if you're just going for accessories, would you consider this looking good? Yeah, this is not resin either. This is FDM. Let's see. Where's my phone? I can bring up Etsy. And I'll read you what supposedly it's made of. Here we go. PLA. Just a simple PLA print. Oh, here we go. We specialize in high-quality 3D printing miniatures and scenery for all your favorite tabletop games. What sets us apart is that we print large scenery at 0.15 millimeters, so 0.15, and detail scenery at 0.1 millimeters. And that's not resin, which is kind of wild. It's like 0.1. Dang. And that's a Majestic Miniatures on Etsy. I messaged him. He got that over at rush order for this one shot. By the way, exporting au revoir. Have a good evening, Alex. Ça va? Exporting Amity Island, the Jaws campaign. Exporting episode 1. I had to move files around so everything is on SSD. Because if I'm using a single hard drive in the exporting process, it becomes a 24 to 50 hour export. If I use SSDs from source to destination, both being separate SSDs, it takes 2 hours. So I found that out today. And so after this stream, I'm going to set all of episode 1 to export, including the uncut. And I'll be ready to go for August 2nd. And then I got to worry about episode 2. I forgot I was zoomed in. Just taking notes, thanks. What I've learned takes the two things that make the most, that add the most amount of time to exporting. Which, the first one's going to be the most surprising. Sound. The more cuts, the more edits that you have cutting back and forth between sound, the longer the export's going to be. And then the second, and probably the most important, is whether or not you're using hard drives or SSDs, and are you exporting to the same drive that your source is? Because that will slow you super fast. Slow you a lot. What you want is, let's say all your footage is on hard drive A. You don't want to export to hard drive A, because a hard drive can only read, write, read, write, read, write. You want to export to hard drive B, so it can go read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write. But ideally, you have SSD and SSD, which is 4 to 5 times faster. Sometimes more if you have M2s. So how many of those do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Six. And we see Cmike in his natural habitat, a hot wire cutter and at the tips of his fingers. Is this my new natural habitat? Or am I so naturally adept that I can adapt to any natural habitat? 7. Dude, the new suggested jack of all trades, I really like that new That new version, by the way. Way cooler. You apply Jack of all trades to all skills not proficient in. Eight. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this would be 11. And this is number 12. So excited. Allie says I have to try to release the one shot on August 13th or something like that. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll try. It's gonna slow down Jaw's release, but I'll try. Well, mostly because the one shot has to do with, are you solo editing? Yeah. Well, I have my assistant, the AI, who my assistant AI is a godsend. Basically, I set it up with all the picture-in-pictures, and then I press go based off my preset, and it will camera switch, cut between different cameras based off who's talking when. And then I will do a creative pass over that, making cutting fat, making it smoother, or more cinematic. But 80% of the cutting is done within 5 minutes of a 1 to 2 hour video. And then I'm working with the developer of the software. And the goal is, I think he's gonna send me the beta for the next update next week. The goal is whenever someone's talking, it actually auto ducks all the other dialogue. So it's also mixing at high quality. And then we just gotta find the bugs on things to tweak. Because on my creative pass, one of the slowest things is worrying about the audio now. And because it's a specific plugin for Premiere, stuck on Premiere. Oh yeah, I love to edit. I can have a lot of fun, and I know how to edit really well. But man, how much editing I do just just to get to not even. So I have a standard that I want to reach, right? It's like America. America's Declaration of Independence set a standard that we want to reach as a country. We have never hit it. My standard for my editing, I have never been able to hit it. I got really close with Son of a Dungeon, and I got really close with the vlogs right before I left Corridor. But working on D&D content by myself, it is super hard to get to that bar that I know I can hit, but it just takes more time than I have to give it. So having an AI, like skipping some of the base steps that take up most of the time, solid. Assistant intern, I got one of those. He generates my NPC artwork. Has a habit of making them with weird hands and eyes. One of the players for the Jaws game works in tech, and she loves AI, or at least AI art, I should say. And she's been playing around with Midjourney, trained to a very specific aesthetic that I like, to make art for Jaws that happens in the show. It's not like art everywhere for B-roll, but she just like, she surprised me with making all the scenes into like the set pieces and the locations into AI art, and it was like really cool. So I tied that into the beginning and the end, and wherever I can find a good place to sprinkle it. Because I'm not good with Midjourney. My struggle with Midjourney is the commands. And it's just, it's a small learning curve, but it's a learning curve while I'm really busy working on other things. I remember somebody was working on ChatGPT connected with Midjourney, so you could just type in ChatGPT and it would tell Midjourney what to do, which sounded like, oh, what a leap in lowering that learning curve. We're talking AI here, guys. On the crux, a union strike about the same topic. Who cares? I'm not in the union. Those guys get paid $60,000 a week for sitting in a room not writing, let alone the ones who do write. They get paid even more. But a union cameraman on a big union set, so like we're talking Marvel, okay, so that way this number makes sense. Cameraman, $30,000 a week. Why is an assistant writer who's not actually putting pen to paper getting paid more than a cameraman? Now, that being said, what the producers recently just said, that they're willing to let them starve, that sucks. That's a shitty thing to say. But come on. Mid-tier writers not doing work? AI can beat you. Okay, I think that's a lot of planks, guys. We got some spare ones that I can put together later, but we got plenty of pieces to get going. It's already 9:10. Clean this up. See, I need to learn Stable Diffusion a bit more. Like, now that it's past the early days, I understand what Stable Diffusion can do, but I haven't gotten deep into it. Cmike, you may want to keep an eye on AI laws, though. There is some legal stuff to keep an eye out for, including stripping 203 protection to 203 protection to their distributors, so it might scare them. Yeah. So the AI that I'm interested in are assistant AIs, such as an assistant editor, because I feel like the work that it can do, now that it exists, I've always been afraid to have somebody help me edit D&D content, especially unpaid, right? The channel does not make enough money for me to pay somebody to help edit D&D. A single episode can be somewhere between 600 to 900 gigabytes of data. So they have to be local, which means they're going to want more money. Sending hard drives, not a smart idea. And you can't... The best case scenario is if I get another computer and I can let people parsec in, but I'm not there yet. But the cleanup, just like multicam cutting back and forth, bass pass on the audio in minutes. Oh, dream. I would like, I tweeted it. It's like, I'd rather have an AI as an assistant doing some baseline work than have somebody unpaid doing work that I know is time consuming and hard. That way the person who can eventually get paid actually is working towards a better position. Because I can't think of I think there are plenty now editors in the YouTube sphere that work for creators that will understand what Corridor and me at Corridor kind of paved the way with, which is the every other day vlog. Editing gets hard when there's a lot of stuff to edit. Like, it just gets hard. And one of my big goals for Fables is to be releasing weekly, and I struggle to release every other week. The day that the AI laws really kick in... Oh, I'm sorry, GD, have a good night. Sorry, I just saw your message. Gotta catch some Z's. 11 p.m. Central. What state? I'm from Minnesota. What state are you? Before you go, if you're already gone, oh well. AI laws. So I was thinking about this. We jumped from truckers losing their job to automation to writers. To me, that feels like a massive gap. Like, nothing connected the two. From something that was just driving around delivering to historically the most creative job there's ever been. So I don't know who's next. I can see assistant editors going away. I can see assistant writers going away. I can see, well, because we're talking about AI. I can see producers, for the most part, actually fade away real quick. Specifically, assistant producers. And if we enter that sphere, because it's all about accounting and budgeting, like the social personality part is the only purpose of a producer at that point. But we're entering that sphere. I feel like it's very easy for AI to jump over to legal and really get legal cut throat and dry. Maybe interfere with lawyers and judges. I think that's when AI laws will really start coming, is when AI starts coming for them. I feel like tech jobs for truckers, it's tough because at a certain age, it's really difficult to start over. It's not that the people are unwilling. It's just really difficult because you know a certain thing, you've been adapted to one thing, and life just threw you a left turn that you were not expecting. To be fair, all things are experiments, nothing's permanent, but not everyone accepts that. You see the through line between truckers and writers, Alex? Please explain. I would love to be enlightened. I think, because I was saying this for a while, is truckers losing their jobs to automation is inevitable, but what's scary for people is that it moves so quick. And so there was no time for the people within the industry to adapt to a new lifestyle. So most of the reason that came up was what was actively being publicized at the time. Sure. Let me get some cool stuff. So most of the yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna go more in depth on that. I am. Give me a sec. Fair. Fair. You have the slower form of communication than I do. So I glued some side, like, diagonal beams to the second tier scaffold. And I had to strap some Velcro around it to keep it in place when it dried. Oops. Got some glue on it. There we go. I like it. It adds a little bit of stability to the structure. I should definitely put one up here. Because on the 3-tier, I didn't do the sides, but I did the front, and that does seem to help a lot. Yeah, there'd be no room for the side on that one. There we go. And the little one tier is still the same. Okay. The through line overall is the amount of comparable data sets that are usable and available. Location data has a lot of straight mathematical principles. Okay. Using location data like on the most simplest end, GPS. And then I guess how a lot of people are interpreting AI for writing is on the simplest end, autocorrect. So using those two as foundations, they popped up first. Is that kind of what you're leading to? Oop, I bumped the mic. So then the question is, what other base simple tech do we use that would just boop pop up? Because art like painting and drawing art is on a whole nother tier, and and we are already seeing that slowly enter through DIY into video. And in about a year, that's going to be like a Snapchat filter. If it's not already on TikTok. Okay, so let me set the stage on what you're seeing. One, you're seeing a banner for McKee's Micromancy, which makes LED little crystals and mushrooms that you can put in your cave. You get 15% off using code FablesD20. Link in the description below. What you're seeing here is also DSCRYB. Get professional box text published that you can use to inspire better narratives to your game. You can get 10% off using FablesD20 promo code on your next subscription. I started DMing with DSCRYB. You should too. Okay. So what you see here is a giant rock. And we have 3 scaffoldings that I'm building onto it. This baseline one is going to stay as flat as it is. I'm going to build a second story for this one, and I'm going to build 2 stories for this one. I'll show you some cool crystals. I'll show you more than my crystals. I'll show you one of the many mushrooms. So this is one of the mushrooms. Just rotate the bottom, and it turns on, and it fades on and off. So I can have a nice cave mushroom or fairy mushroom. For crystals, all the designs are just rotate the bottom. Inside, it's a simple tech. Magnet with a battery. And these will fade on and off as well. They do delay a little bit longer. Some nice ice crystals. And we got some hellish volcanic crystals. I guess this one doesn't have a flicker. I guess some that I got are also just steady LED as well. I got a whole bucket of them. And this is just a clear white crystal. But crystals aren't all that are sold at MCKEEMOROLOGY. Nor the mushrooms. He also sells campfires, little LED fires, some big wall of fire fires, wall of ice, green fire, not just red, almost any color fire that you're interested in. And then I also got this in the mail that I want to paint here on the channel. I'll just put it together so you can see. Very fragile, it's all resin. It is a street lamp. So you can build LED streets for your D&D game. I can have this brick base that it sits in. And it just chills. So many little baggies. So, should be able to just put it in. There we go. And now we have a little street light. And it looks like he gave me a piece of plastic that I can use to cover. Yeah. Gave me a little piece of plastic that I could put in here to cover the LED itself. That I need to paint and glue on. Because I bought the unpainted so I can paint it here on the channel. It could go into a mine where there's just some LED spot, some lights holding on the walls of a mine. And then he also has the thing that really got me hooked with McKee. Do I have one with me? Because I would love to show it. It's amazing. It's not in arm's reach. Screw it. Where is it? Here they are. So we can have fire, but also my favorite torches with bases. So you can put your mini on here and it looks like they're holding a torch. Ones with lanterns as well. So it looks like your mini's holding a lantern. All right. So build up. There you go. Knowing who has a torch and who doesn't have a torch with the mini is super cool. Me talking about McKee apparently lowered my viewership by a drastic, insane amount. But screw him. I still gotta make a video about all the things I got from him. Because, dang, I got so many. Unless the number over here is off. Okay, so I got one piece of wood. I think the hardest part about streaming this late is actually it actually rushes my dinner, which is for a long time been like a relaxing time to watch a movie or an episode of a TV show with Allie. I know a lot of creators say that they don't get to have the time to do that because they're so busy working. But stopping to eat and hang out with Allie is super important, and that's something I'm noticing getting affected by this. So it's like, rather than having 30 to 40 minutes to eat and hang out with Allie, it's 10 to 15. Which tells me that doing the evening streams is, though I'm getting a lot more hours in, it's actually leeching away at something that's important. So I gotta solve that problem. Yeah, my morning routine is wake up, make coffee, get to work. Now, that sounds unhealthy. But allow me to explain. My new apartment has a beautiful window in it. It's a window that faces a tree. I didn't have that in my previous apartment. So waking up to the sun rising is kind of wonderful. And it's a very natural way for me to wake up. Then I go make coffee. And what I do when I work right away is it's kind of soft work. I have a video playing in the background while I just chill and relax, while I check emails, check documents, and just like simple stuff. But it's very important for me to work creatively as soon as possible in the morning, because that's where my creative juices are flowing the most. Whether that's writing and world building, or that's editing a client's video, the morning is the best time. Okay, before I jump into things, start a writing exercise. Whew. Just for my brain dump and to have an easier time focusing and planning my day. How's that turned out? I find personally that doing that in the night, at night before bed, is have the creative dumping session of like get my ideas out and my plans all done before I go to bed. Feels like I go to bed free. See, there's the thing that I catch too. When I do it in the morning, I do the same thing. So I try not to do, like I've said it on the Discord, like some days my brain will just make me do creative world building stuff. And that's because I did it in the morning rather than the evening. Because in the evening, my tiredness will stop me from doing any more. Let's see, I'm gonna swap the music. And we're gonna go from this one. I gotta make another version of this that has a little bit more like positive, heroic. I have too many like somber, sad songs and combat songs, which tells you what I do to my players. Let's go to... Let's go to nature. Two to three full pages of words without stopping. Writing exactly what you're thinking when you draw a blank, when you write, and so it goes. I used to do stuff like that. 1 plank of wood. Got all the grain now. Got any tips for routines? Alarms. Set alarms on your phone. And then, I don't eat breakfast until like 10 o'clock, and I get up around 6. So it's like a 4-hour fasting for me, and I have coffee in between, like 1 or 2 cups. So controlling when I eat is an important one, and then I have lunch roughly around the same time every day. And I'm fortunate enough to mostly be working at home, so I can control that. Let's see, what else for routine? If you prefer to shower at night, shower right before bed. Hot shower, relax the muscles, do some like stretches in the shower, nothing crazy so you don't slip and fall, and really relax the muscles. And then stick your head under the shower head, turn it to cold, let the cold water rush through, turn it off. If it's really hot out and you don't have AC, I'd take a cold shower before you go to bed. And the whole point of that is to just both mentally and physically wash the day away and go to bed, and dry and go to bed. If you shower in the morning, I would do it like right away. Right away. I don't do it enough, and I should do it more, is shower in the morning, because it really washes the sleep away. Gets you going. It's funny when we talk about the idea of having good routine. It's really about finding a way to convince your brain to be on repeat because your life is like dependent on that. when I do think naturally we aren't like that. We're not meant to be doing that. So that's why routines are always so hard. If kind of like being a dungeon master, the biggest things that you have control over is the start and the finish. In the middle, what happens happens. You know, you could be on top of your game today, getting all the work done, and then you get some really bad news and you gotta go see somebody and take care of your friend or your family. That shit happens. So really, a good routine is, to me, knowing how to jumpstart your brain and your body, and practicing not getting caught up in a all-consuming project right at the top of the day. So it's like, wake up, brush teeth, you know, set rules for yourself, hard rules, like when you go to the bathroom in the morning, before you're allowed to leave the bathroom, brush your teeth. Okay? When you're done brushing your teeth, take a shower. So get all your bathroom stuff done. Get efficient. Before you brush your teeth, floss. Floss before you brush. So there's no excuses. You can't get to the brush if you don't get to the floss first. And then when you get out of the shower and out of the bathroom entirely, might as well get dressed for the day, because why not? Go get a cup of coffee at this point, or whatever breakfast drink you want. Have a cup of water sitting before you go to bed. Take a big cup of water, put it next to the bed, so that way when you wake up, the first thing you do is gulp down some water. So it's like, set rules. You kind of have to be like your own little invisible butler, you know, making reminders for yourself, like invisible information. So before I go to bed, I refill this guy and I put it next to the bed, so when I wake up, I don't chug the whole thing, but I get like more than half. Because I just went like, what, 7-8 hours not hydrating at all? The bathroom rule is kind of a big one. It's just like, get all that stuff done at once. It's hard when you share a bathroom, but it's kind of the goal. Cool, we got all these done. We can put a new scaffold together. Need my glue. And my wand of adhesiveness. I've been notoriously bad with routine, so this is all new stuff for me. I've always been go with the flow with my day, and that leads to being overwhelmed, forgetting the easy stuff. Having a to-do list helps. I would say, man, it's so easy to get distracted. I often say, which is, when you have big projects on your to-do list, And let's define at least one big project so you can comprehend. Editing a video or getting editing done, right? Let's say that's a big thing on your to-do list. I'm going to be able to put a quarter to half my day to that. About that. That's it. If I have 2 editing projects, that could be my whole day. Could be half of my day. Depends on how, like, nothing else goes wrong throughout my day. That could be paid work, my normal work, could be whatever. But, like, that's a good measurement that I've been doing. I leave room for that flexibility of something going wrong. And then, on the fortunate side that it does take half my day, the second half of my day, I can look at my to-do list and see what else I have to get done. And I try to communicate that workflow, or at least not the workflow, but the expected results from that workflow to people I work with. So when you tell people, oh, it's gonna take me half a day, they'll be like, well, you can do X other things. And it's like, no, don't, then I might not, I'll be too exhausted to get things done. Like, just, I got it. So I try to do those, like, round up, broad stroke chunks of time. Like slots in an inventory, you know what I mean? Because the way I see it is editing, recording, writing are all separate big projects realistically. Correct. And it's really hard to do all 3 of those in a single day because they require different uses of your brain. The way I see it is the idea of us doing 100 things in a day is super new to our brains. And it takes god-awful training to do it. And when you see an influencer, somebody on YouTube or a celebrity or anyone on a screen successfully get 8 to 12 hours of work done in a single day, and they're like doing a bunch of projects throughout the day, like they have assistants, they they have people helping them get that stuff done, especially if they're creative. This little frame's got to dry, so we're going to put a couple planks on the top. Sacrifice this one, put this inside. This is just thicker. It's like when I started editing D&D content, my computer couldn't handle the footage, so it took me about a month to edit one episode. And still, it was not good editing. Because I was editing at 5 frames per second. Then I got a better computer. And I got like 2 weeks, 1 episode if I rushed it. And then I got, after a long time, found different workflows, and I got to the AI, and if I buckled down, I could get an episode done in 2 days. I like to spend a week on it, so that way I can like double check certain parts that stood out and like feel that out and creative stuff, all the good stuff. Admin work can be a whole thing too, absolutely. And I feel like online people don't talk about routines or organizing your day in the right design method. Like, a lot of people have talked about it a lot of different ways, and I feel that it's not that they're wrong, they're not giving a better broad stroke approach for normal people. Breaking your day into fourths. Fourth big things I can do. I can, let's use me as an example, edit a video, edit a second video. If this first video is a really long project, it'll take the first half of the day. And then, you know, another big project. If I was a janitor at a college, right, it would be clean the floors in building A. Maybe that might take the first half of the day. And why I break up it in fourths is you got to make room for breaks, such as your lunch break, your 15. Like, even in a creative space, having a 15-minute break, oh, it does such wonders for your brain. Go for a walk. And then the time also is when you start and when you finish. You go home. You're done. Spend time with your friend, family, you know. That's why I break it into four big things. If I have a lot of little things to do, you know, each one can break into 2, so it can build up to 8 things. After that, you can easily get overwhelmed by getting too much done. You get that mental exhaustion. It's a very video gamey approach, and it's helped simplify things. What's your editing computer right now? I edit on the M1 MacBook Pro. I really enjoy this laptop. It competes with Puget as a Windows like tower computer. It also lets me not have one desk in the corner where I edit and work. I technically do. I sit right over there and just edit all the time. That's usually because I'm connected to that hard drive. And that hard drive bothers me. But if I have enough space on the computer, on the laptop, put all my work files on there, all my footage, and then I can edit on the bed, I can edit on the couch, you know, I can move about. I can go to a local coffee shop and edit. And that's why I really like the laptop. Yeah, I like it. It does the job. It does the job just as good, if not a little bit better, than a Puget PC. And for it being a laptop, that's a big deal. Glitch, remember, everything's an experiment, nothing's permanent. So try it out, figure your thing out, and eventually you're gonna have to do something different, because sometimes things change. Okay, so it's not fully dry. But will that stop me? No. It will not. Okay. Let's glue the legs on this sucker. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good evening. At least it's evening on my time. We're making scaffolds for a tabletop mine centerpiece. And they all leave. Dude, stumbling on onto streams is so weird. You know what I've not been doing? Streaming to Instagram during these evening streams. I wonder how many people miss out. Okay. I feel like I might be rushing this project a little bit. Okay. It's standing and it's in its corners. Should put a guardrail on the side. Cool, while that dries. We're gonna start priming Optimus style. Is this even a good brush? It's not a good brush, but I can make it work. There we go. Yeah, just need to break it. Okay, so we're gonna take this little guy and start priming him black. Do my best not to get covered in paint, but odds are. try to get into the nail holes. Brickmaster! Don't have to work, so I'm here. What do you do, Brickmaster? You don't have to answer, but I was just curious. One, two. Okay, my mic does work. I'm just crazy. Why are you crazy? I don't know, guys. I think I don't get enough oxygen in the brain. James? Yeah, you digging the late night streams? There we go. Prime that all black. Probably some spots that I'm missing, but I can get to that on a second pass. Gotta remember not to hunch. I gotta work on that posture. Straighten up that back. What you want to do is pull as if there's a string on your sternum, pull up, but then don't let your lower back rotate in. Kind of like tuck your butt down. And then while keeping your, that's a straight back. So now it's just raw old Batman costume style. I was watching a podcast with Dr. K on it, and he talked about how to actually get good posture. It kind of blew my mind. It's a simple solution. When sitting, you just want to make sure your hip is higher than your knees. And then that'll naturally straighten your back out, other than slouching, but yeah. I keep like painting right here versus painting outward so you guys can see. It just hurts my back because I don't got that chair in that Amazon wish list. Glitch, can you go to the Discord and paste that Amazon wish list in the chat for me? And you all can see what chair I'm talking about. Like, I can't afford the chair, but I really need the chair for my back. There. There. How's this drying? Oh, it's still going. How am I digging the new pad? Great. Bigger. The D&D stuff is always built. Takes up some space, but it's always built, which saves up a lot of effort. And in the long run, it's going to make me happier. We have our own bedroom, separate from the D&D space in the living room. And that separation is really great. We have windows. We had windows technically in the old place, but they were really bad windows. They were facing an alleyway, which was okay for a while, because it was less direct sunlight, which kept the place cooler. But then we just were like missing the sun. And so here we have windows on almost every direction because we live on a corner of the building now. And that's been great. I gotta work my butt off to get the rent, though, but it's way better. I feel like the only way I could get cheaper rent is if I, like, move halfway across the country. That's how crazy it is. So, not ready for that. Then uploading would take forever. I 'cause, 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 'c that dry. I bet rent there is twice my mortgage. My friend who's just leaving Los Angeles, he's moving to Cleveland, and he's getting a four bedroom house with a 3-part garage, and he's just renting because he's moving across the country, so it'd be easier. His rent for that house is just a little tiny bit more than the rent of this apartment. Put things in perspectives. You just got fiber internet here? How dare you? This piece is not even done building and I'm painting it. Go. Good start for that. There. Just getting the paint going, it's a big deal. Rent is crazy everywhere. Yeah. The problem is, I would love some land. I really would. I gotta live in a city. There's something about it for my brain. peep in that corner. That took forever. Review this one. Spots. Alex, you have a good night. I'll probably wrap up in a couple minutes. I work 7 days a week. And I get up around 5:30, 6:30, something like that. Hi, Snape. You coming to tell me I have to come to bed? The cats are surrounding me. Got that built. Got that guy built too. So this is gonna look good once it's browned and highlighted. Basically, the crane's going to have the same color scheme. What I'm hoping is that the players see it and they want to interact with it. And just it being on the map will inspire some ideas. And that way they don't notice it right away they're in the room. But eventually there will be like, hey, does that thing rotate? That thing's cool. I want to use it to kill the monster. I'll be like, you can roll investigation to use the tech. got a pass on the ladder. That makes me feel good. Finish up the tip of the screen and call it a night. Cool. Yeah, having just those little magnets on the back end go a long way. Everything's starting to blend because it's all black. Little details, just cracks that need like that second pass stand out the most. But we got the next story of scaffold getting built while priming the previous scaffolding. So everything's just kind of moving together. That's good. Dude, Brickmaster, have you seen the crane? So it's hard to see now, but I can actually rotate. It's not that big of a crane either. I'm excited. It's not this crazy set piece either. It's pretty simple, easy to put together. It just is intimidating to start a project, get to the end, and I have yet to finish a full project, so I'm excited to finish this. And once this is done, finish painting the tiles, photo scan that stuff. I might make a PDF blueprint. I don't know. I can't guarantee it, but I'll try to see what I can do. Just in Photoshop, a PDF blueprint of like the cuts for these. And then you guys can make those too. And then I gotta paint all these minis that have LEDs in them. Got a lot. Plenty of stuff to do for these streams. But as my yawn says, it's time to go to bed. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. Remember, you can support the channel. You can support these streams. I know these streams are relaxing and chill, but there's a lot more that goes on beyond it. If you want to support the channel, support the streams, there are links down below. Become a patron, become a channel member, back the channel, join the Discord. I think I'm going to stream tomorrow night. Either tomorrow night or midday. I don't know yet. I do have a lot of work to do, and I kind of just want tomorrow to focus on that. So we'll see. For sure, Sunday night. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, let's try. I'll try. I'll communicate in the Discord what I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm so unpredictable. That doesn't help. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, afternoon, evening, and good night.